Hey guys, it's Jeremy Ashburn with senuke.tv, and this is the Basic Concepts training video where we talk about scheduling, URL lists, and profiles. Now the goals of this video are to show you how to schedule nukes and projects, show you how to create a new page URL list, show you how to create a new RSS URL list, and talk about the concepts of profiles. Show you how to select multiple profiles for each project type. And the last thing we're going to show you how to do here is importing projects and global projects and profiles from the old version. So let's take a look at the software.
Before we get into basic concepts, let me first talk about the wizard here. Now, the wizard actually takes care of all of the scheduling settings. It lists all the URL lists together, and it actually creates the appropriate profiles using an intuitive graphical flow. So the wizard is actually real powerful and real user-friendly, and I suggest you use that most of the time. So you can either use the wizard to do all this work for you, or you can do it yourself after watching this video if you want to have more control over the process. So the first thing I want to talk about here is scheduling nukes. So let's take a look at this schedule button here. And what you can do is schedule any kind of project here. Niche research, account creation. You can schedule any one of these projects here. So to schedule a project, what you do here is select a project. This is a new account creation project. Then I hit schedule, schedule project. And what that does here is it loads the account creation project, it loads the project, and it loads this schedule window. Okay, so here's the scheduling pop-up. Gives you the project name here you're scheduling, and then you can actually schedule the project to start on a certain day and time here, or you can start after a certain project completes. And there are two options here. You can start after a project is complete in its entirety, or you can start a project each day after a project finishes for that day. And it's really important that you use this option in conjunction with the add only URLs from the last 24 hours option when you're submitting links from URL list. Here's a sample scenario. If you have a social network project that's scheduled to finish over a 3-day period, each day after that project finishes, you have a scheduled bookmarking project to bookmark the URLs generated for that day. So if in the social bookmark project you simply choose the URL list generated by the social network project, it will bookmark all the URLs that exist in that list each day. So on day 2, it will once again bookmark the URLs that were already bookmarked on day 1. So if you want to restrict it to just the URLs generated that day, you need to use the only from the last 24 hours option. And all this is done automatically if you chain in the wizard. Everything's done automatically for you when you actually chain projects together. But this is if you want to do it manually. You can also choose to spread submission over a certain number of days. You can distribute it evenly or distribute randomly. And here's how you configure the random distribution options. So when I just clicked save there, now this is scheduled. So I'm going to close this, and I'll maximize this a little bit here. Now I can see that this new account creation 6 project is an account creation project, and this is when it was modified, and this is the schedule. I've scheduled it for 5 days, starting after this project is complete. So it tells me the next runtime here is after that particular project is complete. And it tells me how many sites are due for this particular account creation. So that's scheduling. Now if I want to edit a schedule, I could just hit edit schedule. Now if I want to pause the schedule or remove the schedule, I would just click one of these options. And I can also pause the project scheduler this way. Now this edit schedule button will actually reset the schedule if you want to do a new schedule from the ground up. So I would just click yes here, and then the schedule window opens up again, and I can change it. This time I'm going to schedule it just for a certain day and time. And I'm not spreading submission, and I'm not starting after another project. Save. So now you can see this changed here. Now this account creation project is scheduled on the 22nd of March at 1 p.m. It tells you when the next runtime is here, and it also tells you how many sites are due. Just as a precaution, it's a good idea to always double check your work to see when something is scheduled, when the next runtime is, and how many sites are due here. So that's scheduling. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at profiles. A profile is a collection of accounts that senukex uses to submit to the sites. So let's take a look at one profile so you can see what's inside it. I can just double click to open a profile here. And this file has accounts set up for these modules in these sites. So it has these particular article directory and form profile modules already signed up. And here I can see the social network sites it's signed up for. So from this window I can add more accounts if I wanted to manually by filling in the type of account it is here. The site is under here, the username and password. I can load accounts here by loading a CSV file. And then if I wanted to, I can also export and save these accounts in the same manner. Save the CSV file. And I can also highlight the accounts and delete them from the list just by clicking this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to close this. Now another interesting thing about profiles is that different campaigns actually have different profiles. So this buyapc.org campaign has a lot of profiles. But you can see here when I go to the article and social nukes campaign, it has no profiles. So let's create a new profile under this campaign. New account profile. So now I would just title the profile. And you can use whatever system you want here. If you're going to set up a profile to use for specific types, I encourage you to come up with some kind of system for yourself so you know what the profile is signed up for without having to open up the profile. For example, if I wanted to sign up a profile to have social network and article directory, I typically do this. SA, so that tells me it's set up for social network and article directory. 001, I give it a number, so I give it the name I want to sign it up for. So at this point, I can double click to open this, and you can see there's no accounts in here. So now if I wanted to create accounts under this profile, I would just load this under Projects, Account Creation. So I'm going to hit New, Account Creation. I'm going to call it Creating Article and Social Account Creation. So now I'm going to actually select the profile I just created here, Grady Smith, and to keep consistency I'll click on Generate Random Profile and then type Grady Smith. So next I'll get an email address. I'm going to get a Yahoo email address. Okay, so now the account has been created. So now the email address has been created. I can see a green check here that I've just got a new email address. I just need to verify the email. Okay, so now it's verified the email address. So now that I have the email address created, I'm going to uncheck this, and I'm going to check some social network and article directory sites to create accounts with. Start. I can see here that all those accounts I checked were successfully created. So I'm just going to start email verification to speed up the process. Okay, and it's done. Okay, so now I'm going to close this. Now if I go to the profiles here and double click, I can see now that I have these accounts set up for the social network and the article directory. And it shows the username and password right here. Now let's go back to my buyapc.org campaign. And let's open the social network project. Now within most of the projects, like this social network project, you can actually select multiple profiles you want to nuke with. So if I want to do that here, I can hit select all, which would select every profile within this campaign, or I can unselect it and select particular profiles like that. So doing this is a really good idea because it actually makes it look like that multiple people are nuking the content. Now when you select multiple profiles, what will happen is that senukex will randomly choose one of these profiles for each site whenever it's doing the nuke and posting to the sites. So this is a really good idea to choose multiple profiles because it makes it look like that multiple people are nuking the same content. So next we're going to look at URL lists. I'm going to hit the tab here So if I want to create a brand new URL list, I would just hit New, Page URL List. So here I would title it, double click to open. Okay, within this window, I can add URLs individually here, or I can batch add a whole group of URLs if I want to. So to add those, I'm just going to hit Add here. So now I have those URLs in the window there. I can load URLs here by selecting a CSV file, and I can save URLs to a CSV file. I can also edit the URL here by doing this, or I can edit the anchor text, which this is also spinnable. So now it shows the anchor text here in the window. And then if I wanted to cut, copy, or paste, these are shortcuts up here if I wanted to do that. So I'm going to get out of this one. There's also an advanced option here. If I wanted to right click and combine a whole bunch of URL lists, I could do that by clicking this option. And you can also create an RSS URL list just by doing New, RSS URL List. And this is the same as the page URL list. You can add the URLs individually. You can batch add them. You can load CSVs. You can save CSVs. And you could edit particular URLs. So I can add an RSS URL here, and it shows up in the list. And I can edit the URL like that. And I can also right-click Edit URL as well. And on this URL list here, you can cut, copy, paste, or delete URLs using the shortcut key or these options up here. So if I wanted to copy a whole group here, I can right-click, hit copy, and then paste. And you can see the pasted copies here. I can highlight, delete them, right-click and hit delete. And the same thing here, you can also combine multiple RSS URL lists if you want to. I'll copy this a couple of different times, just using the keyboard here. Highlight the whole thing, right-click, combine RSS lists. So here's the combined list. And it's the same RSS feed over and over again because I just put one RSS feed in there. But if you had multiple ones, they would all show up like this in a master RSS list. And I can also import projects from the old version, account profiles, previous URLs, and global projects from the old version. So I can just hit import, and I would just select what I want to import here. So I'll import a project. Navigate to the folder. Okay, so there's a Web 2.0 profile nuke that's been imported here, and I can open it up and see it. What if I want to import an account profile from the old version? Import. I just select the Import Account Profile from Old Version option. Navigate to the folder, Gordon Shepherd, and there it is. There's the Gordon Shepherd profile. And I can import the URLs from the previous URL manager this way. Yes. At that point, if you had the old senuke X software installed, it would import the old URLs. I don't have the old software installed on this computer right now, but it would if I have the old version. I can also import an old global project. So these are global projects here. And then it tells me here, and now they're imported. So that's scheduling, page URL lists, RSS URL lists, profiles, and importing.